Good evening, this is Artie Lang speaking after an extensive trip into rehab. Now below 699 pounds of bloated drug-induced euphoria, and having missed only 6 days of work in 4 years, can't a man take a personal day off? I find myself in the phenomenal, gorgeous golden hallways of the $6.99 studio just to the northwest of Blake Corum Championship Boulevard. April 7th, 2024 marks a once-in-a-100-year silver bull market and generational wealth transfer. Are you on the winning side? Old Vincenzo urges you to smash that like button, subscribe down below, super chat to support the channel, and keep the truth and integrity flowing as we build an army of truth one jabroni killer at a time. See, yes, Ponda, why gold and silver bullion? How can I change your life for you and your family, turning what seems to be small amounts of money into generational wealth that can be passed down from generation to generation with a simple handoff of precious, beautiful, gorgeous bullion? Thank you for joining us tonight as we explore the world of precious metals and the potential for generational wealth. Remember to tune in next time for more insightful discussions and tips on building wealth for the future.
VINCENZO'S Go Crypto Investing, bell notification, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and share to get that truth and information you need to fleece, heist, and shiest the criminal gangsters, the market manipulators, that have orchestrated to subvert and overt old VINCENZO'S Go Crypto Investing and the retail trader from getting this vital, truth-filled, integrity-based information and education in the cryptocurrency sphere and the blockchain technology and the gold and silver bullion for investing for your future and expanding and increasing your standard of living and quality of life, right? And that's what I need you to do by commenting. We are overting and subverting and knocking down the banning and shadow banning of our channel and getting this truth and information out to the audience. And based on the audience, after a cloudy, gloomy, rainy 73 degrees J in the greater Bloomington metropolitan area in central Illinois, with some rain moving in this evening and overnight, possibly up to an inch of rain. And the whole reason that we've smashed through this oversion and the shadow banning from YouTube and from that orchestrated criminal gangsters that want to keep the retail trader and this truth and integrity and only let the paid promoters and the fleece heister and shysters out there. I thought he wanted Fantom. There we go. Hey, brother, can you cover Fantom? We're going to take a look at Fantom right now, and my man Smack 2649. I always forget XDC, and this is what I need you to continue to do, and I'm going to look at XDC and Fantom right now for you two lovely, beautiful audience members. We're going to heart this, all of this right here, and I need you to keep doing that. I'll help you set up, and this is a super simple and easy free class from all the VINCENZO'S Gold Crypto Investing, and the first thing we do is we go in here and we hit into our indicators, and I like to go find my VP volume indicator, the fixed VP volume indicator. It gets the mean of the volume, and it lets you see where things are at, and you can see the mean of the volume, which I always like to put in red, right in there, just right at the mean. It's just a little sneaky red, and it's always a dark red. And then we go ahead and we lock it, so we can't move it. And I know that is the exact mean of the volume in this price. And then we go look for the next cluster, right? And the next cluster is right up here. And this is where major trading takes place. And this is major support right here. So we're going to put this in bright orange because that is major support, and we're going to lock that right here. If you break that, you're more than likely coming down to this major area down here that starts at about 0.008, right? So that's what I like to do there. Then we can see we have some overhead resistance here. I'm going to go and zoom into a closer time frame. That's the 3-month time frame. Let's zoom in now to the daily time frame. Now we've looked at the VP volume indicator. We need to zoom a little bit further out. Let's go into the weekly, and you can see the weekly, it's similar. We did have a major uptrend right here, but now we have this huge consolidation. And what we're looking at here in this huge consolidation is you obviously need to get above this critical area and hold it to 0.066. But it looks like we had a topping out where the buyers or the bulls looked like they became exhausted as a rounding top was noticed, and it almost looked like we had a little head and shoulders, and that could have been a technical target fill, and that actually tagged the old all-time high back here. You notice that? See how that happened? We actually touched that perfectly back here from 2018, and that's exactly where that came down to, and that actually held it as major major support, which could be very, very bullish, because that could say right there, the reason obviously it came down and tagged it to a T is that's the new plateau, that's the new bottom, and that's the new floor that this price can go, because there's such a heavy set of wall of buyers down there, or bulls stacked and ready to buy, and the price has to stay above that in the XDC, and that's very possible. So that's something we're going to be watching. If you're trying to buy this, I would be buying, my accumulation zone now would be anywhere in this orange trading zone, down or lower, right? You're in this orange trading zone, it's a good accumulation zone. Obviously, if it slips lower, you buy if you think this is a good coin. But if it's down in here, you accumulate. If it's up in here, you do not accumulate right now. If you already own this and you bought it somewhere, say way early down here, you only buy on big dips, like after it pumped here and then it rolled over better than what, 80%, that would be when you accumulate now. And that's pretty much, 88%. If you were one of the early buyers way down there, you only want to buy more if you're buying more after this thing goes down 70, 80% from any one local point. And then you buy more, because then your average price is much, much closer to your original purchase. And just to show you something like that really quick, if you took your industry exclusive measuring tool and you bought right here, right, and you're all the way up here, look how high you are. Look how far away from the price, right? 1, 2, 3. You're 169 times higher than what you bought. But look, if you bought it right here, you're only 15 times higher than you bought, right? So it's much, much, much closer than where you bought as far as taking your average cost up. Because if you bought here and then you bought the same amount anywhere up here, but if you bought up here, your average price might go from here all the way to here. Versus if you bought this little dip the same price, your average price might have gone from here to right here, right? It's all relative, but it makes a huge, huge difference where you buy if you already own this, right? But there comes a point where you just stop buying because the price is going up and you get the capital appreciation, and you don't want to jeopardize a phenomenal trade with something very, very stupid too far down the line. But this right here, as long as this stays above this critical area, this would be my area. Once we get back into here would be we need to pay attention, because this could be troublesome for the price. Locally, if you're trying to swing trade it, if you're just trying to accumulate, I would be looking at, if you don't get above this old high, this is most likely a step down pattern, and you might be stepping down back, and it's the major, major trading range that happened back here in 2021. That's still something I would be paying attention to, because if this breaks this critical area and you slip this, there is no more trading until you get back here. So you would have a very, very big fall in XDC if you breached the point. I don't know why it's coming out like that now. I hate that. If you breach the 0.01896, you have nothing in between there. And although I don't even want to use those until I figure out what's going on with that, until you go all the way down here, right? That's even worse. 0.004, and that's about a 50% or greater fall from your major support that you tagged and held to your next major support. Yeah, that's a 73.08% fall. And that would be what I'm worried about here. And you got to pay attention to, as if you breach that major tagged bottom from the old high, you have a huge fall. And that's a big fall just to get there from here. So major underneath support is 0.032. If you hold that, you can remain short-term bullish and try to come up to this old high next to this. See, okay, why does that look that much better? What the fuck's going on here? That's pretty confusing. If you come up into here, see, so I go over here and it looks like that. Oh, it is up there. You just can't see it. But the 0.018, that is what you need to come up and breach to get very, very bullish. Obviously in this coin, and that's your old high. And that's what I'd be looking at here. But I think my gut's telling me this is going to come back down. That's just my gut. I'm not a financial advisor, nor do I play one on this own radio show, but I think we're coming back and we're retesting. And if we are to come back up, I think we need to at least come back and retest the major buy zone, or the local major buy supply zone, where the buyers or the bulls are obviously stacked looking at that, right? So I think in the short to medium term, over the course of the next couple of months leading into the summertime, I do think this is probably coming. Let's look at some Fantom. Oh, this is a relatively new coin. And relatively new coins are very, very hard to pay attention to, but are very, very hard to forecast, because the only data you have is the data on the screen, because the data on the screen is the price action, and the price action is the trader, and the trader is the people. And if it's very new like this is from 2021, there's not a lot of data, but off the bat we had the huge pump, and then it almost looks like we have a left shoulder ahead and a right shoulder, and now it's breaking to the upside. And if that is the case, you obviously right here have a major, and this is basic technical analysis here too, you have a major underneath support, and you like to go where things have happened more than once, and then you go several months later, twice, 3, 4, 5 major hits of support right there. So the points at a 17 cents is a major underneath support, right? And obviously your major overhead resistance is the old mountain double top. And we did technically clear this, because you would have the neckline right here, and a targeted move would be from the double top right there, the M topping reversal pattern right here, the double top, to the neckline. Bam. To the point of a breakout. Oops. This is going to be hard to do. Right there, the top of the mountain double top. Come on. The mountain double top. Oh my God. To the bottom, to the point of a breakout right at the neckline. And you can see that did bring you down to there, which has been a targeted move, and it did actually breach there and come much lower. But that would have been the targeted move on that M topping reversal pattern. And now this looks like you could honestly be having a left shoulder ahead and just a big elongated right shoulder that's taking much longer. And I think you could even come all the way back up into here and still come back down. To me, it seems like you're coming back down to the 17 cents as the volume continues to decline, as the price is going up and sideways, often a sign that the price action is going to turn over on itself. But that is a major level right there. And this would be the area locally I would say you need to stay above, right around into this area, because again, right about now, the 54 cents, because if you look at it, it's been a major support and resistance level back here, major resistance and major resistance here. So you would have to hold that and tag that as major support, and that would be very bullish, and that would be a sign. If you did come back down here and you tag this and held it and rally, that would be a very bullish sign, and maybe a time that would be signaling a buy signal there, as the moving averages are uptrending in the weekly time frame. So that's what I'd be looking at there. And Fantom, the old XRP, really quick, because I'm very tired. We're in the midst of this shutdown. This is about I'm not even sure how many days it's been that I've been working. 12 to 14 hours a day. It's probably like day 10 right now, because I think I said it was the 10th day of the month when I started my intro. So that would mean we are 10 or 11 or 12. 10 or 11 or 12 days we would be into the shutdown, if the day is actually the 10th. But you can see XRP here. We have a very dynamic chart in XRP, and that's what we're getting ready to show you here. This is from the extended XRP chart that goes a long time, and this is a video that I'm very excited to show you here. And this is going to end the video, and this is going to be the last coin that we talk about. Life-changing breakout. Millions will be lost and made during this time frame. Bear market ends, bull market starts, and we're getting very close to these time frames that we set, because you can look at what took place in XRP when it first came out to exchanges where you could buy it. It had a huge up and downs, massive. People had all kinds of patterns like you do now, but not as popular. But they had all the patterns you're drawing in the technicals, and we pumped 700%, and then we dumped 99%. A ton of times back here, and everyone's trying to gamble with the charts, with the patterns, with the fucking drawings down here, and the gurus and shit on social media next to this fucking dinosaur that started the whole deal. And they're trying to do all their jagged bullshit, trying to time trades, trading 663 times before the breakout finally happened, where if they would have just bought anywhere into their stupid triangles, their up and down patterns, and listening to the shysters and the gurus on the interweb and the interweb, that Art Howell Lang used to say, the intraweb, they would have just bought and fucking held. Look at where the price is now. It's way up there. And once again, we're in the same pattern when we're all drawing our patterns. I'm not knocking technical analysis, obviously, because I'm showing it to you on here every day, daily, multiple times a day. But I'm saying if you believe in something is what I'm trying to tell you. Just buy the fucking thing. Don't listen to anybody and go and ride with it, right? Or if you're listening to people, if they're negative on something that you think is good, just listen to them and then, I still think my opinion's right. And you buy the damn thing and you don't second guess yourself. And then if you bought it here and then it went down here, you just buy more and wait for it to skyrocket, because as soon as it gets too much higher than the local area you're in, you're not buying no more, because you're way up here now, right? And that's what I'm trying to tell you here in the XRP, because after it broke out of the That's what I'm trying to tell you is just buy. If you believe in it, you buy it, and you buy it now. But if you do look at the technicals, you guys are going to think I'm trashing the technicals, which obviously you wouldn't think that because I talk about the technicals every day. But you can see what I'm alluding to here is if we have a huge breakout to the upside, if we get rid of that hideous thing, we had the same similar pattern here, right? Where this thing was actually a little bit tighter. We had this symmetrical triangle, or this duck's beak, what it looks like, where it's wider at the end, and then it gets very narrow like a duck's beak right here, right? See that? And it traded right into it and then finally broke out. And you can see the price respected it. We had our high, then we had our major rejection, and then we had another rejection on the hit over the course of from about 2014 till the last major hit, 2016. So 2 years later, and in between there, we had a hit. A very similar setup to what we have now. And then we had the uptrending underneath support, right? We had a wick that I don't even think counts back then. That was just probably because there was very low liquidity and it was a 3-second wick. But then you can see we steadily uptrended from about November of 2015. We just had a very, very nice uptrend. And then we had the huge breakout, right? And look what we're on now. Again, up here, just at a new plateau. You can see what we had there, what we just talked about. Then you go to the new plateau, and it's the same exact thing. You had the huge peak up here. Down the line, you had the big rejection on the rally. Then you had a third rejection over the course of a few years. And this one, it was a little bit longer because there's more price action, 2006 years long, but the same type of thing. You had the steadily increasing towards the end, uptrending support along the underneath support that's uptrending. And then you're very close to the beak. See that, how it gets tight and there's going to be a big breakout. Yes, it says bear market ends, and this could break to the downside, and it could be life-changing to the downside and you lose it all. Or it could be what's more likely and plausible is it's life-changing to the upside, and we have a huge, huge pump. And that's how you could get $4, $8, $10 XRP, where you could even just in an instant have a hyper pump, something like that, where you get back to $3.42. And that's a big, massive gain from the current price at about 60-ish cents roughly, right? That's a 5-bagger move, right? That's a 5x your money, getting back to the old all-time highs. And that is something that I'm watching out for in the XRP. And that's something that I would be watching out for in the XRP if I was in it. I believe in it, and I've been accumulating it during the bear market and during the last several years, as this pattern is very, very similar, trading into a symmetrical triangle. It's coming into the beak where the price is very, very tight. You notice how big the range was, and then it tightened up because there's going to be a massive breakout soon. The same thing as there was here. You had very wide runs, and then it tightened up as there was going to be a massive breakout. And I think XRP, for better or worse, there's going to be a life-changing, whether it's bullish or bearish. I would hedge my bet on bullish because of inflation, and I think the dollar will continue to decline, and that would make certain things go up, because if the dollar crashes, it's losing purchasing power, so things become more expensive, and people like XRP. And I really do think XRP, I'm not a huge believer in it's going to take over any kind of world currency or anything like that, but I think there's enough people and enough things going on with it that it is going to force the price up. And I think you could eventually see a $3 to $10 XRP when at one time I never thought that would be possible, but now I think it could be possible, leaning more towards probable to $3, even likely to $5 over the next 3 to 5 years. And this is something we will continue to watch, as I think there's going to be a massive, massive move, a massive life-changing breakout, a massive once in a lifetime or once in a decade breakout in XRP as decade number 1, consolidation, the first breakout, decade number 2, consolidation, waiting for the next breakout, and that would lead us into our next plateau of the price, probably somewhere around $3 to $4 after it consolidated. But I would be very excited in XRP. I would be very excited for a massive move coming in that coin. Like, subscribe, and share to Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing. As the Bitcoin price has continued to shake, the Bitcoin price has continued to show signs of coming down, but the bulls, or the buyers, have continued to fight and have continued to show why this bull market, this unprecedented bull market in cryptocurrency and Bitcoin history, leading into a halvening, setting an all-time high, is not going to go down peacefully, is not going to go down quiet. And as long as the bulls, the buyers, stay above the 65,000 $840.94 cents. You are very bullish in the short term, and you can see you bounced off once, you wicked down, but bounced off twice, sort of forming a W reversal pattern. And if this is a W reversal pattern, there is the neckline, and a targeted move would bring you somewhere up here closer to $77,000. So that we are very much watching for that. Or we're going to continue to get forced back down closer to the 50,000 and an uptrending 50-day moving average in the daily time frame. And you want to stay above the 65,000, or you will come up for a major retest of an uptrending support here. We're just going to move that up because it's uptrending at 62,129.57, or the top part of that rising channel that you want to stay above, because I do believe if you come into this rising channel, you quickly fall to 58,000, have a couple of moves, and I think before you know it, you're at around $50,000.